Okay, I'm here again with my longtime friend Greg Goodnight, and we're going to look at some of his peppers. And this is going to be the first segment of Don't Fear the Reaper. And there's his moots there. We have a helper here. We have a helper, and he and I kind of feed off of each other and get ideas. And he's kind of mentored me, and he provides me with seedlings and stuff. And we're looking at this pale yellow right here. Have you tasted them?
I have not. I was waiting to see if they ripened any further than that.
It's kind of late in the season though, wouldn't you think there? Yep.
It might be a good day to try one.
I'll pick one up. I'll do a tongue touch.
Let's do it.
I mean, that's the weakest part there,
yeah.
You know, that's
yes.
It smells like habby, and if it's got a hot like a habby.
Okay.
I would say. Now right here is a ghost plant he's got going on, which his ghosts look different from mine, but there's a lot involved with the soil conditions and,
yep.
and such like that. But that is a beautiful plant. It's not real tall.
No, and something I've noticed in the narrower beds, the plants seem to be smaller in height than in a wider bed.
Okay.
You'll notice the 4-foot wide bed over there, the plants are over 6 feet tall.
Right, we're going to look at those. And here's these habbies right here. Okay, now let's go over and look at these monsters. Okay, check out how tall these plants are. Now mine's just bushed out. I mean, you see it on the video, but he's got some here. That one probably may go over 6.5 feet. Look at that. Look at that rise there.
These are the actual ghost peppers themselves here. You can see from the texture of the skin.
Yeah. And Greg here is a connoisseur. He's an Epicurean. He gets into wild dishes and stuff like that. And we're just going to look in here. His Moruga scorpions, like mine, they're taking a long time to mature. And this right here looks like a reaper. Is this a reaper plant?
That would be a reaper.
Okay. And we're going to go around here. That looks like more ghosts, or is it?
This should be the chocolate Moruga here.
Chocolate Moruga?
This should be the chocolate...
They don't look like it.
Yep, but that's what, according to my planting designation, this was that chocolate one. Number 5, yeah. Lightning Habanero chocolate. So this is what that's supposed to be.
That looks more like a red ghost to me. Now this right here is all reaper. This is all reaper here. And I've seen what other people called these with the tail on them, the actual scorpions, but like I say, I can't tell any difference with the heat or with the color on them, other than they got that little tail. We got several of those coming on. This right here also looks like reaper. Yeah, those are reapers, but they're a little bit larger. And this, we're talking soil conditions, water, all kinds of runoff, all kinds of stuff like that. Here's a big reaper here now. That's a big reaper. Yep.
And this one here is the red Dominican habanero.
Oh, okay. I want to get a shot of that. That is a huge reaper. Look at these. There's some. They're coming in. They'll go another week or so, and then we'll be back out to videotape on these. And this is you said the Dominican Habby?
Yeah, that's the red Dominican habanero.
So it's not actually a Savina, it's a Dominican.
Yes.
Hey Precious. Your kitty always comes up and greets me. She loves her Uncle Harry. That almost looks real similar over here. No, they're shorter, they're squattier. These Dominican Habbies are squattier than these over here, aren't they?
Yes, they're a little bit smaller. They do have some good heat to them. We've tried them.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Got a beautiful harvest here.
Yeah, I mean, these are, you can see these are so loaded down with peppers. That
Yeah.
Ending.
And mine ended up looking like vines, Greg.
Yeah. We've had a lot of rain this year, and it tended to make them get a little leggier. They didn't grow as wide, they grew taller.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, this one here is every bit of 6.5 feet tall
Yeah.
and 7 feet. And I've got blooms all the way to the top and small peppers.
I'd say it probably is closer to 7 feet. If you straightened, if it kind of leaned it up.
Well, I'm 6 feet, so that's over 7.
Yeah. Yep. Beautiful. Scorchers. Look at these scorchers.
It's going
Okay.
to be a good harvest.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
especially love the tail on them.
Yeah, that little scorpion, that little
scorpion tail.
stinger,
Absolutely.
that's the stinger.
That makes those beautiful. Those are absolutely fabulous.
Those little stingers. And he's got the stingers too, but these are the ghosts, but I don't know if they could be I don't know if they could be a cross or something, because my ghost didn't have that little stinger on them.
Now, as we've talked, sometimes you're not sure what you get from the seed company.
Right.
but-
All the seeds look the same.
Yeah, and all these seeds came from Pucker Butt, so I tried them this year, and yeah, it's the name of the company, but tell you what, if you eat them, it will definitely make it pucker.
Yep. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Well, okay, Greg. Let's get together sometime next week, because I'm going to have another harvest of chocolates and ghosts. But I'm going to have
keep them all separate, and that way we can check each individual flavor profile.
Yeah.
And see what we like. We can start grading them and rating them that way, so that next year we order what we like, and maybe branch out into a few other ones.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'll have enough for a year or two, and some to give away as presents too. Okay. Man, look at that color. I love the color.
Some beautiful oranges and reds.
Yep. Okay, my partner Greg's not here yet. Supposed to meet him here, but I guess he's busy. We're going to harvest these ghosts here, and these weird yellowish looking peppers here. Probably get a little jar out of that. Then we're gonna, he's still got blossoms on this sucker. We're gonna be getting these ghosts here. All these ghosts. There's some more weird, boy, there's some big ones in there. All over the place. Look that up. Look at that. Man, oh man. Tons of them here. Come around here to the reapers. You got reapers up here. Reapers all down through here. Look at that. Some giants. Some monsters. And we got a bunch of reapers in here. So now I'm going to put on the gloves. And you're not going to see someone like me or Greg just chewing into one of these just to torture ourselves, because this is part of our diet. We eat these every day, every other day. No matter what it is I'm cooking. If I'm cooking spaghetti sauce, I'll throw in a couple of teaspoons of this stuff, or if I'm cooking in my wok, I'll put some in there. We enjoy eating them. We don't enjoy the torture that some people put themselves through. And don't fear the reaper.
He's 5 foot tall.
Yeah. Here's shooting our garden here from this side, and this we're getting ready for the second harvest. There's that ghost down there. This is going to be our second harvest, and it looks like we've got more scorpions this time around than we did last time around. And I'm going to set that down there. Let's see here. There's several in there. Let's move some of these back. Yeah, look at it. Now, Greg's scorpions didn't do anything. All he's got is a couple of green ones like that. And let's see here, how many we got over here. Oh yeah, look at here. There's a bunch of them there. Look at that. Holy smokes.
Wow, that sucker's loaded.
Let's see how many of these chocolate bootlas. Yep, there's going to be some of those. Not as many. Looks like, well, I don't know. Look at here. Look at there.
Holy crap.
Chocolate bootlas. Now, I'd never even heard of them before.
They look hot, I
Until
guarantee you.
yeah, we just look at that. I won't be getting all of those. Since this is going to be the last harvest, I don't care what.
This gonna be the last harvest?
Boy, this ghost here is still covered.
This gonna be the last harvest?
Yeah, yeah. Amazing. Amazing. I'm going to start at the end here and work my way south. Okay, now we're going to look at what we have here. Okay, now this right here is my second harvest of ghosts. And this right here is the second harvest of chocolate bootlas. I'm going to keep them separate this time. Greg wants some separated. And this is my second harvest of scorpions. And all of this right here comes from Greg's first harvest. These we think are the red Dominicans here. These are his, well, I'm going to call them crinkly ghosts. And these are smooth ghost peppers here. And there's some variations in the color, but they all came off the same plant. There's one of these guys here. And we're not sure what these yellow ones are. There's enough there to put in a little jar. I'll keep those separate. Not sure. And all these right here are the reapers. There's reapers. Looks like Woody's going to get some reapers here. See if I can catch the whole thing here. Several pounds of monster fire. Monsters. Absolute monsters. I'll go in for a little bit closer shot. Scorpions here. My second ghosts. And these are Greg's ghosts. So are these. Yeah, if anybody's got any suggestion on what these little yellow ones are, I'd like to know. They taste like habaneros and about the same heat. They're not super hot, but buddy, here's the fire here. Everything else in here will just tear you to pieces if you don't know what you're doing. Looks like I got it's going to be a long night. Okay, I'm getting ready to go. I'm doing a little different here. Since I got more peppers, I'm kind of spreading out. You can see my scratching screwdrivers. And I'm going to start out and just knock these little yellow guys out. And I think that I've got plenty there for them to soak in. And I'm doing my final rinsing. The ones that's got a little bit of dirt on them, I'll just slosh them around in this right here. And then I'm going to cut them up and put them in here. This is my brine solution here. And you see the stain in that. That'll never go away. But we'll look at it when we get finished with these guys here. Fixing to get to work. Don't fear the reaper. Well, I have finished round one. There's the little yellow whatever they are. And here's the reapers. They're all processed. Made a mess here. I like this this right here. I did it once before, but it wasn't really necessary because the habaneros, they don't have as many seeds in them as some of these others to have, and they're easy to de-seed. Some of these reapers were just loaded with seeds, and the ones I couldn't get out of the skin, I just flosh them around in there, and you might can see some down in there. And I've got to clean up, wash my knives and sharpen them, and then we'll get back at it and go for round 2. I don't know what I'm going to cut next. Probably something that's not quite as intense. Maybe those chocolate bootlas. And then I don't know where I'm going to take it. Boy, they smell good. Man, oh man. Woo! And I did have 2 sneezing fits, but so far, I believe it's the ghost pepper that made me sneeze the most. The ghost peppers made me sneeze a lot more, seems like, than the morugas, the scorpions, or these reapers. They are beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, I'm going to show the fruits of my labor here with the second harvest. This is after everything is processed and soaking in the brine solutions. I have not been burned, but now when I started on the chocolate bootlas, seeing as they were more moist, the first one I cut sprayed up on the right side of my face and burned for a little over half an hour. It wasn't severe, it was just some of the spray that came up. Here's your chocolates, and these are those red Dominicans, we believe, and here's those yellow deals here. These are the scorpions. These are reapers here. This is a variation of the reaper here, and this right here was what was labeled as the ghost. And here these peppers are. I'm going to close in a little bit more on them. And I'm not so sure that they are ghosts. I don't know what they would be. They were labeled as ghosts. But cutting them up, you'll notice that inside them here, there were oh gosh, probably 90% of them had these white spots. These white spots on the inside. And there's some there. Right here, and they did not have the thick membrane wet liner that the ghosts had, either the chocolate bootlas or the regular ghost peppers, which are in this tub here. And even though some of them actually had the crinkling on the outside here, several of them had the crinkling, and a lot of them had the little stinger on them. See, got stingers. And so I'm not so sure that they are or are not ghost peppers. I don't know what they are. They are brutal. The skins on these guys were tougher than any of the rest. The skin was much stronger to cut. But we're going to just back up a little bit here, show this as they're going to soak overnight. Total probably about 9.5 hours of de-seeding here. And my next shot will be of the finished product in the jars, most likely. Beautiful peppers. In your face. And still the most brutal on me were the ghost peppers. Sneezing, coughing, running, dripping, the whole 9 yards. The ghost peppers were just absolutely brutal, and I believe part of that is because there was so much moisture inside of them. A lot of moisture inside the ghost peppers. And I've cleaned the table up and decontaminated it. I still have some decontamination to go. This handle here has been decontaminated, and I can touch it now with my bare hand to stir them up. Just kind of swish them around there, get rid of all the air bubbles. Funny thing here is these on these Dominicans here, they all sunk to the bottom. I hadn't had that happen before. And same thing with these yellow guys here. They look like they're losing some of their color. Of course, they were pretty pale to begin with. Boy, look at that rich color there. Holy smokes. And these guys were just fire. They were brutal. The bootlas, they spray up and they make you cough and hack and sneeze like the ghost peppers do. They're just brutal. But fortunately for me, the scorpions and the reapers weren't near as brutal. They didn't have as much moisture in them, so they didn't spray up near as bad. Okay, here's what I ended up with on my second run of this year, 2018. These two here are ghosts. This is mixed. This is portions that there wasn't enough to put in a jar, so I made a jar out of 3 or 4 different ones. This right here is that smooth ghost. These right here are all reapers, ready to eat, ready to chow down. This is what my chocolate bootlas. Ended up with a half pint and a quarter pint. That's the red Dominicans. Boy, are they red. They are just red. This is that yellow one, kind of greenish. And here's the scorpions. I ended up with almost twice as many scorpions on the second harvest as the first harvest. The scorpions, it just seems like they take a lot longer to mature and ripen. And out of all of them, I think that my favorite is the scorpion. I like the scorpion, and the chocolate bootlas are really good, really good. And these, as I process them, they have all been rinsed off in hot water. And before I do anything else with them, or give them away, or preserve them, I will be washing the outsides with soap and water twice. And the most brutal part of this process, by far, is getting them into the jars and staying alive. I was just draining like crazy and coughing and sneezing. Have plenty of rags for your nose. Make sure you don't burn yourself. I have not been burned at all, except for just getting a little bit of bootla spray on the right side of my face. And some people may say, well, how can you eat that stuff? How can you eat that stuff? Well, in summer of 1995, I bit into about a piece the size of a nickel into an Indian turnip, also known as the Jack in the Pulpit. And it put me down. I drooled for, I think, maybe 10 hours. It left white welts in my mouth. And I was just in absolute, utter distress the next day. I wrote about it in my first book, the whole incident in detail. And me and 2 other guys were about to die. Nothing came. It was just horrible, horrible experience. And there's nothing here that comes close to the Indian turnip. So for all these people that take the Carolina Reaper Challenge, or the Ghost Pepper Challenge, or the Scorpion Challenge, I dare any of you to go get an Indian turnip and take you a slice of that fresh out of the ground. Just take you a piece the size of a quarter, and you want to experience hot. After that, that incident, nothing really is scary or anything. I'm more worried about getting it in my eyes or on my face or the backs of my hands during processing. And because well, with the Indian turnip, it's just only in the mucous membrane. It doesn't bother your skin at all. But these will tear your eyes up. Make sure that you wash your hands really, really good. Make sure that everything is decontaminated. I've still got some decontamination to go. I've got make sure you clean the handles of your pans. I've got to decontaminate my vinegar, my vinegar jar, my measuring cups, my spoons. Everything has to be washed at least twice. So, hope you've enjoyed the second edition. Now, don't fear the Reaper. Don't fear the Reaper. Just eat them up. Just eat them up. They're absolutely delicious. And so are these scorpions. My favorite. My favorite. Look at that. Just beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Let's see those bootlas. Look at how dark they are. Fire in a jar. Now, fire in a jar. And those right there are just absolutely the reddest My goodness, reddish pinkish. Ghosts, they look, no, they're redder than the scorpions, I would say. Let's see here. Yeah, you can tell the ghost has got more red in it, and the scorpion. And this ghost here looks more like the red Dominican in color, but it's not. It has a different smell, and it also had a different smell. I'm calling it the Ghost 2, but it did have a different smell, a different aroma than the regular Ghost. Just for the record. Reapers, don't fear the Reaper.